caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the...
What's up, guys? Lance the Obscure Movie Guy coming to you once again with another fun-filled, fact-filled video that you probably won't care about, but we're going to do it anyways, trying to change the world one post at a time. Now, today we are going to be going over a film that is more drama than it is anything else. I know a lot of my reviews are on low-budget independent horror, but we are making a departure today and going with low-budget drama, which is a risky thing that most independent filmmakers don't do. But Heidi McCack and her crew tackled a very dramatic and very real life issue of an eating disorder. Today we're talking about Written in the Light.
So I want to commend you both for taking this big step today as we help Skylar through her eating disorder. Let me ask you this, Skylar. How do you feel about your body?
I don't know. Some days I love it, especially when people tell me how skinny I look.
You look great. You're just as skinny as you were in high school. How do you do that?
And some days I hate it. I'm disgusted with it.
Want to tell me about your eating habits?
It's really not that bad.
Skylar.
Really, I've been fine lately.
How often are you vomiting?
Maybe 3 times a week.
Is she going to eat all that?
Ew, look at that double chin.
I feel really guilty after I eat, so I vomit, and that helps the guilt go away, but then I feel really guilty because I vomit. I don't know. It's so bizarre, I don't even know how to explain it.
Tell me what you're hiding! You want me to stop now? What do you want from me?
I'm so sorry. I've been lying to you.
You're doing so good. Everything's gonna be okay.
It takes a lot of bravery to take steps towards healing.
I've been blind for so long, I wish someone would have given me sight. Maybe then this could have been written in the light.
So Written in the Light was written, directed, and stars Heidi McCack and Caitlin Skinner. They both co-wrote it, they both co-directed it, and they both star in it. Heidi McCack plays Skylar, teenage daughter of Caitlin Skinner's character Leah, and talks about the struggles that a mother and daughter deal with in the loss of the father/husband and in the eating disorder that kind of coincides with that. So very dramatic and very powerful film. The opening scene sequence is very well executed and basically sets the dramatic baseline for the tone of this film, and also kind of plays to the what you think is the baseline of the eating disorder of Skylar as a young girl. Now, this film does a really good job of showcasing Skylar's eating disorder, but also showcases how an overbearing parent can sometimes exacerbate that situation, which can also be a disorder in and of itself. Um, large in part, we lose the father very early on in the film, and essentially that, without trying to give too much away, you kind of think that is the catalyst for which Skylar's eating disorder is. So because of the loss of this parent, Skylar has a hard time dealing with that loss and has an eating disorder because of it. Now, we do find out later on in the film what actually happens towards the end, but I don't want to give too much away in the way of the plot. It's not a big aha moment, but it is a moment that I don't want to ruin. But the film very much showcases Skylar's eating disorder, and like I said, the overbearing parent that Leah is, Caitlin Skinner character, kind of exacerbates that in some certain situations. So I think they did a really good job of portraying that, putting it out there. I don't have a lot to say or speak on as far as actual eating disorders. I don't think I have one. So, but I think they did a really good job of showcasing those two things throughout the course of this film. Another thing that they do really well showcasing is the individual characters' struggles. Basically, Skylar, her individual struggle with the eating disorder, and then um, Leah's struggles as the mother dealing with, her daughter that's essentially hurting herself. So they do a good job of establishing and showcasing those individual struggles, but they also do a good job of showing the struggles of those two people together. The daughter that doesn't necessarily want to have this eating disorder and is struggling to find a way to, correct course, and the mother trying to basically save her child from herself. Um, so they did a really good job of showcasing individual struggles, but also the family struggle struggle and dynamic that they deal with. There's also some really good scenes in this film. In particular, there's one really good restaurant scene where, later on in the movie, we feel like Skylar has maybe turned a corner a little bit and is able to, kind of control her eating habits. Um, so they go to meet one of Leah's friends for lunch one day at a restaurant, and it's a public outing. And basically, Skylar starts to have this public anxiety about eating in front of people and the things that go through her mind about what people may think of her eating, not eating. And she kind of, falls back into that habit of, I don't want to eat, or I'm going to eat and I'm going to purge. Um, and I think, again, they did a really good job of showcasing that individual struggle and something that's a very real thing that people deal with, um, whether it's taboo to talk about or not. I think they did a great job of, showcasing that, um, like this is a problem. This is a problem that these people deal with, and this is what it's like to be out in public sometimes. And I think, to a certain degree, I think a lot of us have some sort of public anxiety. Maybe not necessarily involved with an eating disorder, but whether in the entertainment industry it might be stage fright. Um, for my son, it can, because he's autistic, it can be overstimulation, just a lot of people in a room, and you never really know what other people are thinking, but we're often our own worst critic. So probably whatever's going through our head is realistically not what is going on through the heads of other people, but we just put that on ourselves. And they did a really good job of showcasing that and portraying that, Skylar, having all these thoughts run through her head that this is what these people are thinking. And, I'm disgusting. I'm a pig. I'm a monster. And it's like, nobody's even paying attention to you half the time. You really don't have to worry about it, but that's the psychosis of public anxiety and some of these disorders. There's also a couple of really good scenes with Lindsay Vertner, who plays Michelle, which is basically the therapist, trying to help Skylar and Leah, Skylar individually with the eating disorder, but also Leah as the mother, and doing some, family therapy. There's a couple of really good scenes there where Skylar's really got, an off-putting attitude towards this. And, it's always one of those things where, you know, people don't often think the problem that they have is as bad as it seems, when realistically it's probably really bad. Almost like drug addiction. You don't think you're addicted, but you are. And you also kind of see that with this eating disorder, that she's not only has the eating disorder in and of itself, but it also becomes a little bit of an addiction at a certain point to want to eat and then purge. So some really good heartfelt scenes throughout the course of this film. Now, from a fundamental standpoint, I don't have any qualms with this film. It's well shot. The videography is good. There's no audio issues. The editing is spot on. The acting is amazing. Heidi does a really good job portraying Skylar. I hate to speculate on anything that Skylar's ever gone through. Same thing with Caitlin Skinner, but I feel like those two writing it and directing it, I feel like there has to be some sort of first-hand knowledge on what people deal with in those situations with those disorders in order for a movie to turn out this good. And again, I don't want to speculate saying that either one of them have ever had an eating disorder, but the way it's written, the way it's portrayed, the way it's executed, I mean, I feel like there has to be some sort of firsthand knowledge involved with bringing a film like this to life. And if there isn't, then they did an amazing job regardless. But it is a very, very good film. This is easily something that should be on Lifetime. It's a perfect Lifetime movie. People dealing with things like this, and I think this is one of the reasons why I like independent filmmaking, because I feel like that this is something that Hollywood and the mainstream studios are kind of shying away from. They don't really want to touch on the taboo these days, and they don't want to talk about eating disorders because they want to act like they don't exist. And everybody's on Ozempic in Hollywood as it is, so that solves all your issues. Miracle weight loss drug. But for us normies, as I like to say, this is the stuff that normal people are dealing with because we don't always have access to miracle drugs. And I think it was a really bold step to write such a film and execute it. And I commend them for doing a independent drama. There is no studio backing with this. I've said it a lot. I don't know if I've said it on this channel, but I know I've talked to a lot of people about it, and I know a lot of people do low budget independent horror, because with low budget independent horror, it is easy to make up for a film's shortcomings if you have enough blood, gore, or nudity. So if your storyline isn't that great or the acting isn't, where it needs to be, you can make up with some of that with some shock kills, some nudity, and some blood and gore. So you can make up for those film shortcomings with those things. If you're writing an independent drama, like in this case, you are heavily reliant on the story and the acting because that is all you've got to go with. And this is extremely well written. It is extremely well acted. It is extremely well executed. Everybody that was involved in this should be proud of the film that they made. They did a really, really good job. I highly recommend anybody, if they can see this, watch it. Written in the Light. I know Heidi McCack is currently working on a sequel called Written in the Dark. I don't know. I guess it'll be a continuation of Skylar's story. She hasn't really given a whole lot out as to what the plot or subplots is of the sequel, but I imagine it's a continuation of Skylar's story, maybe graduating from high school and going off to college and still struggling with certain things. I don't know. But Heidi, Caitlin, guys did an amazing job. I want to give a shout out to Sean Burkett. He was one of the producers on this film, and he was the one that reached out to me and sent me the screener to check it out. And I'm really glad he did. I'm really glad he sent it to me. Very good job on this film, guys. So everybody should be proud. Like, subscribe, and comment to my YouTube channel. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. I'll see everybody in the next video.